council to have their microphones turned on and positioned so the audience can hear you. Deputy City Clerk, may we have roll call, please?
Thank you, Mayor. Councilmember Kendrick,
Here.
Councilmember Krupa,
Here.
Councilmember Peterson.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Lilienthal. Here. Mayor Males.
Here.
All members are present.
Thank you, sir. At this time, members of the public may only comment on the closed session item. Please adhere to the following when it, wait, this is afterwards, isn't it? Or no?
No, we do.
Oh, okay. Please adhere to the following when addressing the council. Comments will be limited to 3 minutes or less. Comments should be directed to council as a whole and not directed to individual council members. Deputy Clerk, Deputy Clerk, are there any registered speakers?
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to throw it out to the Zoom teleconference. I have a couple attendees. If you'd like to comment on the closed session item, now's the time to do so. I see no hands raised, Mayor, and no comment.
Comments, thank you, sir.
And Mayor,
Yes, sir.
before going into closed session, staff is requesting that we ask the city council to add an item to closed session. So the number of cases would be 2. We received a second item related to the first one after the posting of the agenda. So it'd be helpful to be able to discuss both items at the same time.
Can I get a motion on that?
Move to add the item. Second.
I have a motion by Councilmember Krupa, second by Councilmember Kendrick. I'll do a verbal roll call. Councilmember Kendrick,
Yes.
Councilmember Krupa,
Yes.
Councilmember Peterson,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Lilienthal. Yes. Mayor Mills.
Yes,
That motion passes.
thank you. Council will now proceed to closed session. Thank you for joining us. A report of closed session will occur after the deliberations, and thank you. This meeting is being hosted through live stream on the city's website and by Zoom teleconference. I would like to remind council to have their microphones turned on and positioned to the audience, or so the audience can hear you. Deputy City Clerk, may we have roll call, please?
Thank you, Mayor. Councilmember Kendrick,
Here.
Councilmember Krupa,
Here.
Councilmember Peterson.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Lilienthal. Here. Mayor Mills.
Here.
All members are present.
Thank you, sir. Do I see Bob out there? No Bob Beckett? Okay, you gonna say the invocation? The invocation will be by Malcolm Lilienthal from what church? Okay, and after Mayor Pro Tem Lilienthal will also lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Bow your heads and close your eyes. Father, we thank you for this evening tonight. We thank you for everyone in attendance. We thank you that you've brought everyone here safe. We also pray for safe travels as everyone leaves today. We also thank you for a blessed night, that you be with us, that you help us make really good decisions for the city, and that you keep us safe. In Jesus' name, amen. Ready, begin. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Malcolm. Okay, let me find my place here. 122 page. We will now move to the closed session report from the city attorney.
Thank you, Mayor. There's no reportable action this evening.
Thank you, city attorney. We will now move to communications from the public. There is a 3-minute per person time limit for all general public comments and non-public hearing items. All who wish to speak, including council members and staff, need to be recognized by the mayor before speaking. For those that wish to join by Zoom, you will be asked to raise your hand if you would like to speak. Please state your name and item you're commenting on before speaking. We'll take public comments for items listed on the agenda. First, I would like to have Marion Derwin.
Good evening, City Council. I'd like to address an issue that took place in the beginning of October. I live in Valley Hermosa, and we happen to have had a home catch fire due to some people living in it that shouldn't have been. The gentleman that owned it had passed away a couple years ago, and the house stayed empty for that long until we had some people move in, and then the house caught on fire. The residents around did call the police on occasion to report drug activity and what was going on. Not a lot that they could do about it. So when the house caught fire, the backyard actually faces Devonshire, and it's right before you get to Kirby. So I'm sure if you've driven down that street a few times, you've probably still seen it. It happened about 3 weeks ago. The HOA president did come to City Hall week before last to ask code enforcement if maybe they could possibly put up a piece of wood across that back fence just to keep vandalism and going, even though the house is like a complete loss. Code enforcement informed her that the city doesn't have any money for plywood. So they would go ahead and write another letter to the family that owns it, yet doesn't want to take responsibility for fixing this house because there are taxes due on it. So they're just letting it sit all burned out. My question is that if we can afford to give the city manager a raise, but we can't afford to buy plywood, And why is this not, why can't we help out? It's part of the city. I understand that it's just a piece of fence, but if we're going to code enforcement to ask for help, the library over in San Jacinto, a car ran into the door. I guess it just must have missed its turn and ran right into the building, and they had plywood up the next day. So I don't see that there's a shortage on plywood. And I'm just going to say that, you know what, if Carly was here and knew that this was a problem, she would have either gone out and fixed it herself or made a phone call. But there's no excuse for giving that kind of reason of why you can't help. And the code enforcement said that they would just go ahead and send out another letter to the family who owns the home. But I don't see that as helping out Hemet, because now when you drive by, you just see this burned out home when we were asking for help. Thank you.
Thank you, Marion. Oh. Arnold Nitzt. Oh, okay, Nickel. Thank you. Did Larry give you his time? Larry Butler? Okay, thank you.
Well, good afternoon, Mayor and City Council. My name is Arnold Nichols. I'm here to talk about a baseball game called Two Strike. But first of all, I want to introduce my wife over here, Dr. Angela Nichols. We just celebrated our last week, 42 years of marriage last week.
Congratulations.
So I got 4 kids, 3 girls and 1 boy, and all of them, they're in their 30s and 40s. They finally finished college and have their own family going on right now. But this game I want to talk about is Two Strike Baseball. I came up with this concept more than 20 years ago. But it took me about 3 or 4, maybe 5 years to get all the bugs out and everything to get it where it's going to be workable. It's called Two Strike Baseball, where you start off with 2 balls and 2 strikes on you. This game will help a kid improve his hitting skills and everything else. Give them more confidence in their play, because I don't go by runs, I go by points. So if you get a single, that's 1 point. A double is 2 points. So you get points on defense and points on offense. That way, every kid gets a chance to play. We work with a 12-man lineup. 12 kids go to bat, 9 go in the field. In Little League Baseball, you have 12 kids on the team, and only 9 can play, 9 can bat. So you got 3 subs. And, so the subs, they're required to give them 1 at bat and 6 outs. So they don't play very much. And with my game, they'll play all the time in every game, because nobody sits the bench. If you got 12 kids on the team, 12 go to bat and 9 go in the field. So every kid gets a chance to play. And see, in baseball, it's the only sport that doesn't go by points. Every sport out there, football, basketball, you go by points. But baseball, it doesn't. And so my point system here, this is what it looks like. But if a kid study this, go by this thing here, it'll be like having written plays. Baseball doesn't have written plays like football, basketball, and soccer, or any other sport. They have written plays for you to follow, to show you. But baseball don't have that. And this game would be like having written plays, a diagram to follow for a person that never played baseball, or even not having coached. They can be a coach with this point system, because everything you do, you get a point for. Every strikeout is a point. So everything you do, you get a point for. And the game can be extended to softball girls playing hardball. There's no professional women baseball team out there. And probably the reason why they don't have one because it overlaps with the men's baseball league. The WNBA Women's Basketball League, they only play 40 games, and the men play over 100 games. So they have a short season, not to interfere with the professionals. But with my game is short, takes about 45 minutes to play, and I can play 180 games in 3 months. So it gives you a full game, full season to play. And softball can use the same concept to improve softball. And also you can have a women's professional baseball league with that too, because you can play the number of games you need to play, many as you want, and won't interfere with men's Major League Baseball at all, because we can be done with the whole season before they even get started. So this is it can be, I have like maybe 5 different games I can play with two-strike baseball that would improve a person that's playing and kids' baseball skills tremendously. Because, excuse me, if a kid is 12 years old and he goes playing Little League, and never played baseball before, that coach ain't gonna take him. He's not gonna want to take the time to train him, teach him anything. Because I coached kids before, my son when he was little, and when he was 10, 11, 12 years old. They stack the teams to win all the games and not play the game for the kids to enjoy playing baseball. And there's no winter ball league for any kids. Even I live in Beaumont, and I don't see no winter ball league for kids to play winter ball. Winter ball used to be someplace you go after baseball season's over, where you get some individual instructions from coaches or parents that coaches and stuff to help you out for the next season. They have to go travel ball now. And travel ball is a very expensive game to play, travel ball. Travel ball is a $1 billion a year industry, travel ball. It's unregulated. So if a coach get a kid with a good arm, he'll pitch him all day. He may have two pitchers, and they'll pitch him back to back because no regulation on how many pitches they can throw. But in my game, a kid can't throw no more than 21 pitches in this game, because you start off with 2 balls and 2 strikes. And get to a full count, it takes 1 pitch to get to a full count. And with the regular baseball, it takes 5 pitches for a full count. So it's a 5-to-1 ratio in pitching. So the kid play my game, he won't throw his arm out or have arm problems by throwing too many games and stuff.
Mr. Nichols, we've exceeded our 6 minutes.
Okay.
A quick question. Do you have this going on in Beaumont where you live, or?
No, I don't have it going on any place right now. I'm trying to get a park to play this at, and for him, and that would be because nobody else in the world is playing this type of baseball. So there's no competition for 2 strikes. So it's wide open to be developed anywhere.
Yeah, I would recommend that you speak with Valley Wide representatives. They have all the parks in this area. That would probably be your best chance. And they're off of what is it? Esplanade and State. At the park, there's a big park over there, and they have an office there.
Okay.
I think that would probably be your best bet, though.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Do I call this one now or later? Later. Okay. Okay, let me see where we're at. What's that? Yeah. Deputy City Clerk, are there any members of the public participating through Zoom that would like to comment on any items?
Thank you, Mayor. Anybody on the Zoom teleconference link Now is the time to speak on any item or a general public comment for the city council agenda. Please raise your hand and I will unmute you. You'll have 3 minutes to speak. I'm seeing no hands raised, Mayor, no comment.
Thank you, sir. That'll end comments for now. We're going to move on to presentations. We'll now move to the presentations. Councilmember Peterson will, or is it Peterson or, okay. We'll move to Carol Kendrick on breast cancer, and Linda Krupa will be the recipient.
City of Hemet of California proclamation Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Whereas October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, is a worldwide annual campaign that started in 1985 to increase awareness of the disease and to raise funds for research into its cause, prevention, diagnosis, treatment, and cure. And whereas breast cancer is the most common cancer and the second leading cause of cancer death after lung cancer in women in the United States. The chance of a woman having invasive breast cancer sometime during her life is about 1 in 8. And whereas the American Cancer Society uses this opportunity to honor its commitment to raise awareness of breast cancer by hosting interactive educational activities and reminding women 45 and older to receive yearly mammograms, the single most effective screening tool to find breast cancer early. Since 1990, early detection and effective treatment have resulted in a 34% decline in breast cancer mortality in the United States. And whereas the American Cancer Society sponsors the Making Strides Against Breast Cancer Walk, a powerful and inspiring opportunity to unite as a community to remember those lost to breast cancer, honor breast cancer survivors, and raise awareness about steps we can take to reduce the risk of getting breast cancer and raise money to fund groundbreaking breast cancer research, information, and 24/7 support. And whereas National Breast Cancer Awareness Month encourages everyone to make healthy lifestyle choices, such as eating the choices of a healthy lifestyle, such as eating a healthy diet, getting a regular physical activity, and reducing the consumption of alcohol. These choices can help reduce the risk of breast cancer. Now, therefore, the Hemet City Council, along with Mayor Joe Males, do hereby proclaim the month of October 2023 as Breast Cancer Awareness Month and urge all citizens to take part in activities and observances designed to increase awareness and understanding of breast cancer, its human impact, and the work of the American Cancer Society.
And council is presenting this to me because I have breast cancer. I am finishing the 2nd year of treatment and I will be a survivor, but I can only say to all of you, men included, check your bodies, get your testing, go. If you feel or see anything abnormal in your body, get to know your body, what it feels like. That's the only way to do it. But go get checked because, men have breast cancer too. Women mainly, but men too. So please get checked, take care of yourselves. As I said, another 3 years, I will be a survivor.
Next will be, we'll move to Malcolm Lilienthal will give a proclamation to Muriel from Golden Era for Red Ribbon Week.
The social consequences of drug and alcohol abuse affect every sector of society, including children. It is imperative that visible, unified efforts by community members be launched to prevent drug abuse. Red Ribbon Week is a time when communities begin campaigns to empower their citizens to fight alcohol and drug abuse in their homes. Businesses, government, law enforcement, media, healthcare providers, religious institutions, schools, and other community-based organizations will demonstrate their commitment to healthy, drug-free lifestyles by wearing red ribbons and participating in drug prevention activities. The 2023 Red Ribbon Campaign has commenced yesterday through the 31st using the 2023 Red Ribbon Campaign theme, Be Kind to Your Mind, Live Drug-Free, as a reminder that every citizen make significant daily contributions to their communities by being the best that they can be because they live a drug-free life. Red Ribbon Week offers citizens the opportunities to demonstrate their commitment to drug-free lifestyles, and during Red Ribbon Week, say that 5 times really fast. The city of Hemet is proud to recognize the Red Ribbon Campaign, which has received national recognition as one of the most visible and effective drug awareness programs. Now, therefore, Joe Males, mayor of the city of Hemet, along with the Hemet City Council, do hereby proclaim the week of October 23rd through the 31st as Red Ribbon Week, and we encourage citizens to participate in drug prevention education activities during Red Ribbon Week all year, making a visible statement that we are firmly committed to a drug-free city in Hemet.
Thank you very much. This is a surprise. I'm from Golden Era Productions. I'm the Community Affairs Director. And Golden Era Productions is part of the Church of Scientology International, and we have a national, well, actually international drug education campaign called Drug Free World. And probably some of you have seen some of the booklets that get distributed around. And it is really making a difference when kids can get educated on the harmful effects of drugs so they don't have to do them. Anyway, very important Red Ribbon Week. Thank you very much.
One thing I want to remind you guys is to pay attention to your children. Sorry, kids. Pay attention to your children on social media because you can sell drugs through Snapchat. You can sell it through TikTok. They don't say it outright, but there's code words and things like that that people use to distribute. And so we're seeing these overdoses in schools. You can at the middle school level. It's when I was in middle school, I didn't even think about doing drugs, or even in high school. That's not what we grew up with. But to see it today, you would think it's just adults, but it's all the way down in the high school and all the way down to the middle school area. And you might not think so, but just talk to your children about their friends or the people that they go to school with, and they'll tell you that this stuff is happening on campus. After school, when you see kids crossing the street, you can see the vaping, you can see all kinds of things happening just from them leaving school. So, there were comments brought up, that the skate park is going to be a magnet for drug selling. It's already happening in the schools. And so just because we have a skate park, you might think like, oh, that's an avenue for my kid to get drugs, but they're already getting in the schools. And so pay attention to, who they're messaging online and any of the social media apps. There's WhatsApp and there's all kinds of apps that are not really traceable when it comes to drugs and alcohol and kids getting access to drugs and stuff like that. So just be aware and don't assume that your child is oblivious, because they know what's going on. They know how to get it and they know how to sell it. And these older gentlemen are using the younger ones to sell the stuff because they know that the kids won't get in that much trouble. And so I just wanted to let you guys know that.
Okay, can you hear me? Uh-oh. Testing. Last but not least, we will have the certificate of recognition for the West Valley Girls Varsity Volleyball Team on behalf of the City Council of the City of Hemet. We would like to congratulate the team on becoming league champions on October 12th, 2023. West Valley secured a win against Tockwitz High School, ending with a 3-1 score. A special congratulations to, as I call your name, please step up. Jaylene Goodson. Rylene Sky Rosales. Angeline Angel Fabregas. Astrid Howard. Ailith Arambula. Lexi Medina. Abby Santiago. Navaya Jones. Kalia Villanueva. Cameron Hubble. Deonis Ione or Looni. And Kia Bonnie. Diana Bravo. Shay Rosales. And Mia Bella De Filippo. Sorry if I said your names wrong. Want to give 1, 2. Who's the captain? You're the captain, and you're the other captain. I'll give you this one as soon as I read it. Certificate of recognition presented to West Valley Girls Varsity Volleyball. The Hemet City Council extends its warmest congratulations to the West Valley Girls Varsity Volleyball team for becoming league champions. Presented on this 24th day of October in the year 2023, Mayor Joe Males, Mayor Pro Tem Malcolm Lilienthal, Council Member Linda Krupa, Council Member Carol Kendrick, and Council Member Jackie Peterson. If you I'll get right in. Don't fall. Yeah. Congratulations. Huh? Congratulations, girls. Sorry about the names. Oh. Now I gotta figure out where I'm at. We're here. Okay. Doing a second reading. What's that? Oh, we'll let them leave. Well, best reading. Darn, we have nobody here. We'll move to public hearing. The city council's procedure for public hearing will be as follows. Staff will provide a report and clarification of items presented. The public hearing will be open for comments for those in favor of or in opposition to the item, followed by rebuttal to any comments made. The public hearing will be closed and the city manager may respond to any questions raised by the public. The public will not have an opportunity to respond. Discussion will be brought back to the city council for direction or action. Can we get a report from staff, please?
Yes, Mayor. Steve Graham, City Attorney. I'll be providing the staff report for today's public hearing. This is an unusual public hearing because this is actually the second reading of the ordinance. The City Council introduced and held the first reading back on September 12th, 2023. We are adopting by reference essentially the animal control ordinances of the County of Riverside pursuant to the City Council's approval of a contract with County Animal Control to provide animal control services. When you adopt an ordinance by reference, which is simply saying we're taking the county's ordinance and we're making it applicable to the city of Hemet, the public hearing is actually on the second reading. I don't know why state law does it that way. It's the only type of ordinance if it's adopted in this manner. Normally, the second reading would be on consent and there wouldn't really be any discussion. But nevertheless, we're going to follow the requirements of the government code. And so we have placed this on for public hearing, although this ordinance was, again, already went through on September 12th, 2023, when the City Council approved the contract with County Animal Control. So I didn't anticipate any significant discussion. And I wasn't planning on going over the ordinance in detail unless the council had questions. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you for the presentation. Are there any comments from the council on this item? I will now open the public hearing. After the public hearing is closed, we will bring the item back to council for discussion. City Clerk, do we have any registered comments?
Thank you,
or
Mayor.
speakers?
I have no registered comments, but I'd like to throw it out to the Zoom teleconference. If anybody would like to speak on item 13A, now's the time to do so. Seeing no hands raised, Mayor, no comment.
I will now close the public hearing and bring the discussion back to the council. Can I get a motion, please?
Go ahead.
I'll make a motion to approve.
And a second?
Second.
Deputy City Clerk, may we have a roll call, please?
Council, please cast your vote. I have a motion by Mayor Pro Tem Lilienthal, second by Councilmember Krupa. That motion passes 5-0.
Thank you. I read this before.
So during the public hearing.
Where am I here? Resolution of the City Council having adopting general plan.
So we are on 13B, staff presentation.
Okay. Staff report, please.
Good evening, Mayor, members of the City Council and the community. I'm Monique Alanis Flater, Community Development Director. This evening is General Plan Amendment 23-001. The project involves Whittier Avenue, which is classified as a future plan collector 2-lane undivided road running east and west from Sanderson Avenue to Kirby Street in the City of Hemet's general plan circulation element. This road does not currently exist today. The request before the council this evening is a recommendation to eliminate the future plan road extension of Whittier Avenue street segment from the general plan circulation element. The request would restrict trucks and cars from cutting through onto Kirby Street into residential neighborhoods. An application for future development on the property is currently pending. However, the planned roadway configuration poses a constraint to the buildable area, which is a challenge for the development. A traffic memorandum prepared by EPD Solutions on behalf of the property owner analyzed the feasibility of the general plan amendment without causing significant diversion of trips adjacent roadways. And it was concluded that the traffic volume would be reduced over time by 1,175 daily trips by 2045. as well as eliminating cut-through traffic onto Kirby Street. The traffic study also concluded that there are existing conditions and road capacity concerns on Sanderson Avenue that are in need of programming measures such as coordination of signal timing and spacing, as well as optimizing intersection capacity and turning movements where intersections operate at unacceptable levels will be needed. Upcoming developments would be required to pay a fair share into a signal timing and spacing program adopted by the city to improve these corridors. This is with or without any changes to the general plan circulation element. In conclusion, the elimination of the segment of the roadway to the general plan would not cause any roadway segments to deteriorate from satisfactory to unsatisfactory conditions or result in a significant impact. The proposal is in accordance with the California Environmental Quality Act, CEQA exemption, section 15061 B3. There is nothing contained in this proposal that would constitute approval of development of an application for development on the property. This concludes my presentation. It is respectfully recommended that the City Council open the public hearing and review comments and testimony from all interested parties. Thank you.
Thank you for your presentation. Are there any comments from the council on this item?
Yes, Mayor. So one of the concerns I have is that this is coming as a separate item. Typically what I'm used to seeing is the project coming forward. This proposed project benefits this proposal. I'd like to see the traffic study or traffic impact analysis and all the other studies that would be provided with the conditional use permit. Making these changes without the project is a concern to me, because if this project falls through and maybe some other project down the road comes in and needs that road in there, that's a concern. So I'd like to have some assurances of what's being proposed and look at all the studies that show the impacts of the project, not just removing the section of the road. Also, I'd like to see the vehicle miles traveled. So I know that AB 52 and SB 18, which are the tribal consultations, were done for the general plan amendment, but the project will need AB 52, so that may have some cultural implications. And I had a concern with I believe it was the resolution of the staff report on page 76. It's C-1.17. It is regarding development proposals, and it's used as a goal for this project, but this is not a development proposal, so I think it's inappropriate to use that goal. And there's also reference in the staff report about a program established for coordination and signal timing and spacing. So does that program exist?
So the program would need to be identified as a priority action by the council to direct the city manager to proceed forward with these types of roadway improvement programs for the city. They would not be included in this general plan amendment this evening, but the actual project that comes forward would include some mitigations, and in addition to either a fair share cost burden on the applicant.
That's all the comments I have. Oh, I do want to disclose for transparency, I did have several discussions with the applicant, and I did meet with the applicant twice, once as an infrastructure commissioner and once as a city council member.
Do you think that, so in your estimation, you don't think that the road that's being removed would be beneficial to the people who drive on Kirby Street?
Well, I'd like to see the studies that would support that. So with the.
But we're
project-
the studies that they were talking about were saying that people would cut through off of Sanderson onto Kirby, and they were trying to mitigate any kind of cutting through.
Right, but I'd like to see what the project's going to do. So that section of Whittier is not under the developer's control.
Hmm.
So if the project is approved and moves forward, they're going to be using Kirby as a temporary circulation until they can work things out with the property owner where Whittier does come through to construct that. So they're going to be using Kirby as an interim, and I don't know how temporary that will be.
How will they use it as an interim?
Because they won't have the connection. They don't control the property between Sanderson, where Whittier goes from Sanderson east.
Okay. The property, there was a rectangle on there, and the street Whittier went through the middle of that property. They just are trying to delete in the middle of their property. So what are you referencing? Because they're not going to remove the outside part that
No.
goes to Sanderson. They're just removing the road that's supposed to go through their.
Right. But if say this developer does not move forward with the project, so then you have the potential for two developments on both sides of that Whittier extension. And we don't know when Whittier east of Sanderson is going to get developed. It's going to impact Kirby in the interim and temporarily, but we just don't know how long that is. I mean, temporary means different things to different people.
I don't know what I'm missing with what you're saying. Okay, so what you're saying is the possibility that the developer doesn't build, then and we don't approve this tonight, and then this Whittier Road hits Kirby, and this developer doesn't move forward, then in the interim, people will be able to get onto Kirby from this Whittier Road.
No. So what I'm saying is, if the project doesn't move forward, there could be the potential for, say, because the road bisects the parcel. This developer has a big building footprint that this road impacts. But if that doesn't move forward, say somebody comes in and they want to do two separate projects, and that Whittier extension.
Then they would have Whittier in between. then.
Yeah, so that's why I'd like to see the project come together because we can have assurances of what's coming forward.
I agree with that. I think that we could wait on it and see what the conditional use permit is and do these concurrently together.
Why didn't they do it together from the beginning?
We've been
This is
working,
when we get not business friendly. When we put roadblocks on these people that's trying to develop in the city. I hear what you guys are saying, but you guys keep saying, let's streamline this. Y'all got rid of the infrastructure committee, and then y'all yourselves is putting a bunch of bureaucracy in it.
This was going to come before us in November or December anyway. So we're in the end of October right now, so it could come forward as soon as November.
So
And
we're
then it would be
talking about-
concurrently on both issues.
Will it? Question? If I'm on.
Mayor, if I may. So procedurally, there could be two different occurrences.
I'm having trouble hearing you.
me
I'm
too.
sorry.
So Mayor, there are two options for the council for consideration this evening. The way that the current development, when the current general plan amendment is programmed tonight, is independent of a future project, which will come back to the council if that's the direction the council would like. If the council would like to elevate the project to city council for review, we'd be more than happy to bring the conditional use permit and the entire traffic impact analysis, the entire development.
I think that's what they want, right?
Right. However, However, the way this is programmed is that in order for this to come back to council, the council would have to take action on this general plan amendment prior to the conditional use permit, because there must be consistency with the general plan. Otherwise, we cannot make the findings for general plan consistency if it's as two separate action items. This is the way it would have to be: the general plan amendment and then the conditional use permit. That could be acted upon in two separate hearings. However, if the council desires to combine the project as one in one action, procedurally, it's a very technical process. This will look a little bit different for the applicant. They will have to go back to the Airport Land Use Commission for a renoticed hearing. We will have to resend out the notices of which we would anyways for the conditional use permit for tribal consultation, which, could in turn delay the project further because there would be additional steps in the process. But as programmed tonight, if the council wanted to take action tonight or at the next meeting, they could. However, that would bring the property, that would create a consistency for the conditional use permit to proceed forward. So we can't make the finding of consistency without that roadway not being eliminated.
Okay, I understand both sides. I understand your side, and I know you're in planning, and I do listen to what you have to say, and I understand that, but I also understand his side and streamlining things. And I don't know why this wasn't brought together to begin with. I don't understand that part of it. It should have been, but go ahead.
It's standard policy, and if it goes together, then you can make the findings. The delays of this project have not been due to the city council. It's been due to, other items. So I don't want to delay the developer. It is standard planning policy you don't bring a zone change independently. Council needs to know what's going to go on the property. This general plan amendment is for the benefit of the developer. We need to see what's being proposed there and have all the studies. You can make the findings if the general plan amendment and the CUP go together, and that would come to council anyways.
Anyone else? Okay. When do I take this afterwards or? Okay. Thank you for your presentation. Are there any comments from the council other than this? Is that it? We're done. I will now open the public hearing. After the public hearing is closed, we'll bring the item back to council for discussion. I do have one request here. Debbie Shamber. Hello.
Computer, all the fancy stuff. I do have some things I would like you guys to look at as well. Oh, I'm sorry. I was like, it took me a minute to run this through there. Well, as I spoke before here, myself and the neighbors that live on that area that have a beautiful view and it's quiet. Can you hear me okay? Have our concerns with building. We're not against progress or building back there. We're just concerned with the noise and some things with our block wall being so low. As you can see from the front page, I have a picture from March. It's so beautiful. It's not always that pretty. And there's a picture behind it that I just took a couple days ago.
That's a beautiful block wall.
Yeah, it is. It just needs to be taller. So we have a view, we have quietness because there's nothing behind us. And for myself and many of my neighbors, we want to try to keep as much peacefulness and tranquility as possible
with the new growth in our community. If you look on the third page, you can see these are the people I'm representing. There's also a couple more. The lady that spoke last week or last meeting that kept mentioning a train, she was talking about the Metro Rail. New signs went up about the Metro Rail on the, in the city. And we just found out that eventually the Metro Rail is coming also. But right now we're just concerned with the building that will be going on behind our house. And we're concerned, of our sanctuary feeling of the quietness and everything. We're concerned about the value of our homes. Right now when I bought the house like 28 years ago, that was one of the things about the house. It said house with view. And, for me, this is my, what do you want to say? My empire, my little empire. Being a single woman and buying this home is my dream. And I've loved living there and I love this city. And now it's going to change a little bit, and change is good and it's okay. But please consider the people that it's going to change our lives at our little strip of homes right there. It's only the houses that are in pink. The other houses, there's a parking lot for RVs, so they're not affected. And then the other area, there's a storage company for like self-storage, so they're not affected. So it's a little group of people, but it's means so much to us to try to keep it quiet and peaceful there. And if you could just add 2 to 3 blocks on top of our block wall, it would help with the noise and the lights and all the things that building, you build a road, the people are going to come. And that includes homeless, that includes just lots of people. So we just want you to consider our houses and our place, that you could help us out by extending our wall a little bit. And I thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Shamber.
Okay.
Jeremy Kraut.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. Jeremy Kraut. I did provide a presentation that just has a couple slides that might be helpful for some of the discussion that occurred. Is that possible to bring up? Oh, I think there was a different one. Thank you. Fantastic. Thank you. Great. So I'll just, if you don't mind, I'll go through a couple slides just to hopefully address some of the background and why we arrived at this time, the general plan amendment presented to you separate from the project. So this is your general plan map, which outlines in that kind of red box the Whittier Road between Warren and Kirby. You'll see Whittier west of Sanderson as a larger road that's a secondary, and then to the east of Sanderson, a collector. For your general plan, you back when the EIR is prepared to analyze the land uses in that general plan, a traffic model was prepared for that to analyze traffic associated with each of the land uses on that land use plan. So all your residential, your industrial, your business park, et cetera. So interestingly enough, as we started analyzing the traffic associated with this area in particular related to Whittier, we found that your traffic model actually did not analyze Whittier in this location. So that red dashed line was the missing Whittier Road, Whittier Avenue. It was not actually a part of your general plan traffic study. So that was, again, back when your traffic study was done, but it used the RivCom traffic model, which we also used to analyze what would happen if you reduce or remove that segment of Whittier that we've been talking about. So we wanted to understand what would happen if we removed it. Well, in fact, it already was removed from your general plan traffic study. So what we did is, what we had to do is to analyze the impact of it, of removing it. We had to kind of artificially put it back into the traffic model to analyze that and then remove it again, even though it was already out in the first place. This is just, again, an exhibit of your overall circulation element or plan. And again, the segment that that is being proposed to be removed on the east side of the Whittier Avenue segment against Kirby. And as you heard from Monique, the idea was that, again, since your traffic model already did not analyze it being in place, also we've talked to planning staff quite a bit and the community to the east about the concerns on Kirby and using that as a route for traffic, truck traffic, that it was natural to remove this segment to force traffic to go to the west. So that's, again, why the proposal is done. This is just a quick illustration of the differences between Whittier east of Sanderson and west of Sanderson. That segment, again, in the pinkish or purplish color, was not in your general plan traffic study. We did analyze it in this condition, and it did, as a result of the analysis, it actually reduced, as you heard, the 1,175 trips. It reduces the traffic on Kirby as a result of removing that segment because it forces traffic to the west onto Sanderson. So the reason, again, that the general plan amendment for that circulation element moved forward ahead of the project. This was, again, started 2 years ago when the project and the general plan amendment was considered. General plan amendment was the first thing that was identified as an issue in your general plan. And we identified these issues with your traffic study and determined this should move forward first and faster because there's an error in your traffic study already. Also, in your in the Sanderson Ranch specific plan, the specific plan did not analyze Kirby going all the way east to Kirby as well. So between your general plan traffic study and the Sanderson Ranch specific plan, neither identified Whittier going to Kirby. So what was seen, I believe, from staff's perspective as we initiated this effort was an error in the general plan that it should be corrected and fixed first as an issue, that rather than incorporating it as part of a project, because without this, the project couldn't move forward anyway. And so that should be moved forward first to correct it, allow for a clear site without directing traffic over to Kirby, which was not planned in the first place. So hopefully that addresses some of the background as to why this arrived now before you in the first place. As you heard, postponing it at this time would delay all efforts because there would have to go the project. So there's a number of items that Monique mentioned. I didn't realize all of them, but I guess ALUC, Airport Land Use Commission, would have to be noticed differently, have to go back to the Planning Commission, and then back to City Council as well. So it would be a several-month delay and kind of a quick assessment in my mind of what would happen this time. But again, because of the issues that we identified in the analysis early on, this seemed ripe for a discussion and analysis and then determination that should you see that be appropriate before the project. Happy to answer any other questions. Hopefully that addressed some of the concerns that were brought up earlier.
Hi, Jeremy. So I don't see how it's going to delay the project because you still have to go through the conditional use permit process. So you're still developing all the studies and all the documents that are required. You still have to do AB 52 for that. You probably have to do ALUC for the project. So again, I'm not making the connection on where the delays will be because you're still working through your development project. It's not, I don't know when you're proposing to bring that back to, Planning Commission or Council, but I mean, you're still working through the process.
So the project itself has been moving forward very quickly through, well, I guess it was started 2 years ago. So I guess we're at that point now where all the environmental analysis has been done. The ALUC, the Airport Land Use Commission, has considered both items separately. So that'd be one major delay, is that we would have to bring both back to the Airport Land Use Commission separately. That review could take several weeks. We were thinking the project could be considered next month. So so we would have to delay that hearing, the Planning Commission hearing for that project.
But if you have conditions of approval or an approval letter from ALUC for both the CUP and the general plan amendment, I understand why it would need to go.
I think
back.
it was the way that it was done. The general plan amendment went to ALUC as a separate action.
Mhm.
And so it would have to, and then the project itself did not require ALUC review because of the general plan designation, the consistency with the Airport Land Use Commission Airport Land Use Plan, I should say. And so it that did not require review, but with the general plan action combined with the project, there would have to be a separate review, at least from, that's what I believe Monique said. I haven't talked with the staff about that, but I believe Monique has about that. So it would be, that delay would, now we'd be pushed into holidays and we'd probably get pushed into the next year. If it just, again, quick assessment, I don't know I'd have to run those, but go ahead.
Are you doing a mitigated neg deck or an EIR?
It's tearing off the general plan EIR. It's so the project is consistent with the general plan and in terms of the use and the impacts that were identified. So that was it's kind of a tiering of the general plan EIR.
But what about the mitigation?
Mitigation from the general plan EIR is incorporated into the project. Your general plan had a number of mitigation measures that were applicable and appropriate for a use like this. In addition, again, tonight, I know we're not really considering the project, but from what has been analyzed, the project also includes a number of standard features, design features that include walls and operational standards or restrictions to address all the issues that would normally be covered in an environmental document.
Would the applicant be willing to raise those neighbors' houses, the wall 3 blocks up?
I did take note of that. I'd love to pass on my contact information after the meeting here to discuss this particular question. I've looked at the walls, not in that much detail to understand that, but we would certainly look at them.
Yeah, my concern would be if the footings were designed to take on more blocks.
Yeah.
Any other comments? City Clerk, do we have any registered comment speakers on Zoom?
Thank you, Mayor. If anyone on the Zoom teleconference would like to speak on item 13B, now's the time to do so. Please raise your hand. I have one speaker. You'll have 3 minutes once I unmute you. You're live with the City Council.
Thank you. Good evening, Council. My name is Ann Smith. You know, what bothers me about this whole thing is the lack of consistent information over a period of time in such a manner that the council can take appropriate action. I'm kind of concurrent with what Councilwoman Kendrick said, and I certainly understand Councilman Lilienthal's comments. I'm a little concerned about it. I read a lot of the stuff when it was, first brought forth. And I'm not against growth either, but what really annoys me is the way votes are sometimes taken at the council level. Very often you don't have a clear picture of what's being presented. So you make a decision based on what you have. And as we've seen in the past, sometimes those decisions come back to bite the city. And that's kind of what I'm afraid happening with this. I'm not opposed to it, but I'm not for it in the way it's been presented. So I hope you'll consider that. I don't know if you will, but I appreciate the opportunity to share my thoughts. Thank you.
Thank you, Ann. Would anybody else like to speak to the City Council on item 13B? Seeing no other hands raised, that's the end of comment, Mayor.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else before I close public hearing? No. I will now close public hearing and bring the discussion back to the council. Can I get a motion?
I will make a motion to adopt a resolution of the City Council of Hemet and the rest of this.
Can I get a second?
I'll second that.
Deputy City Clerk, may we get roll call, please?
Council, please cast your votes. I have a motion by Mayor Pro Tem Lilienthal, second by Councilmember Krupa. That motion passes 4-1 with Councilmember Kendrick voting no.
And to clarify, that was recommendation number 4, which was resolution adopting general plan amendment 23-001, which is an amendment to the City of Hemet general plan circulation element, removing a segment of the future Whittier Avenue, and also a finding that the project is categorically exempt from CEQA under 15061B3. Just for the record. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, now we're moving to, what happened to B? 13, no, we just did B, right? Now we're moving to 13C. Can we have a staff report, please?
Thank you, Mayor. This evening's item was an ordinance improving for a zone change and subdivision for property located at the northwest corner of East Menlo Avenue and Park Avenue, including a tentative track map. It is respectfully requested that this item be continued to a future date to be set by the city manager, and direct that the city clerk provide public notice of future hearing once the hearing is set.
City Clerk, do we have any registered comments at all?
If anybody on the Zoom teleconference would like to speak on item 13C, now's the time to do so. Please raise your hand and I will unmute you. Seeing no hands, Mayor, no comment.
Okay, can I get a motion to continue the public hearing and a second, please? I'm sorry?
Second.
Move staff recommendation.
Council, please cast your votes. I have a motion by Councilmember Krupa, second by Mayor Pro Tem Lilienthal. That motion passes 5-0 to continue the public hearing.
Thank you, thank you. We'll now move to consent calendar. All consent calendar items will be acted upon simultaneously unless requested by an individual council member for separate consideration. Are there any members of the council that would like to pull any consent item for separate consideration?
I'd like to pull item B, C, and D.
Okay, hold on, I didn't get that. 14.
14B, C, and D.
Anyone else?
All of them.
Not all of them.
Close.
75.
A's still there.
I'll make a motion to approve the rest.
I'll second.
Can I have a motion to approve the rest? What about a second?
A second.
Thank you.
Council, please cast your votes. I have a motion by Mayor Pro Tem Lilienthal, second by Councilmember Kendrick to approve the consent calendar with the removal of items 14B, C, and D for further consideration. Just waiting on Mayor Pro Tem for his vote.
Okay,
That motion passes 5-0.
thank you. 14B.
So I just had a couple questions and one comment. So the first question was this budgeted? My second question is, when are the events that are mentioned for these facilities? The events that are critical for these facilities with the elevators being up. State of the city? Yeah, okay. And then I just was very pleased to see that none of the bids were expired. Thank you.
Evening, Mayor, City Council. I can answer the budget question. The Simpson Center elevator was already previously approved with budget. However, the library was not, so that is a supplemental budget request. As far as the events go, I may have to defer to Kathy on that one.
Thank you, Noah.
Council, we do have State of the City scheduled for November 3rd, and on November 17th, there is the Fire Ladder of Excellence going on. However, I will point out that we do have an elevator in the rear of the building, so we can still get people up and down that need that. The next event is scheduled for January, and that will be coming forward later. Thank you.
Thank you, Kathy. I have no more comments.
Thank you. Can I get a motion to, oh, go ahead.
Noah, I have one comment. On page 10 of 51 for the bid for Life Tech, it says warranty period 0. And then in the actual contract, it says section 12, page 31, it says 1 year. And when I first looked at this, I was like, well, why aren't we going to have a warranty on this? And then I realized as I read further that it did say a year. So
Based on the agreement that I'm aware of, it would be a 1 year warranty period.
okay, thank you.
Any other comments?
I'll make a motion to approve 14B.
Can I get a second?
Council, please cast your votes. I have a motion by Councilmember Kendrick, second by Councilmember Krupa. That motion passes 5-0.
Moving on to 14C.
So on 14C, I just had two comments. On page 237 at the agenda, items 67 and 8, I just wondered, are those current numbers?
Councilmember Kendrick, yes, they are current numbers.
Okay. And then can you tell me what the award was last year and how that award amount is determined?
Yes, actually, I can.
Thank you.
We'll start with how is the award determined? It's actually determined by the state library, and it's based on what their funding is available. My understanding is that each jurisdiction that has a literacy program really gets the same amount of dollars. They make the decision, and we don't put a request in, we want X number of dollars. I hope that answers that question. Yes. Last year, we were awarded, oh dear, wrong piece of paper, sorry. We were awarded, I think it was $32,000 and change. I have the exact number somewhere, but apparently not where I thought it was. Yeah, you got it. Oh, you are awesome. Thank you. Oh, no, that's this year. Last year is not down here.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay. That's what okay. It was $32,000. It's done in 2 payments. 90% comes first. And after mid-year, the remaining 10% is sent to us. This year, we were awarded $28,000 and change. Our first payment, should you choose to accept this grant, will be $24,628, with the remainder coming after our mid-year report is accepted.
Thank you, Kathy. I have no more comments.
Can I have any other comments from any other council members?
I make a motion to approve item 14C.
I'll second.
Council, please cast your votes. I have a motion by Councilmember Kendrick, second by Councilmember Peterson. That motion passes 5-0.
14D.
Hi, Chief. I had one question and one comment. Yay on no expired bids. This agenda made me really happy. The staff report talked about looking for grants after this first year of funding is expired. Are we aware of any grants that are out there right now for this?
No, we use COPS as part of our technology. I can't tell you 100% no, but I know that we've been working with our California consultants, and I don't recall them mentioning any. And it's very good for us to target those that are specific, because then we'll use our technology grants for obviously some other software platforms that we want to move towards. So that's something that we do on a yearly basis. We want to focus our efforts on those grants to get that, paid for without going through our general fund or any other COPS grants that we have.
Right. I mean, and is this newer technology where there might be grants in the future? Would you anticipate?
Always with technology, it's always beneficial to look around, especially for law enforcement, because we can't keep up with the costs of, the private industry and the price of technology going up.
Thank you, Chief. I have no more comments.
Thank
Can I
you.
get a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve 14D.
Second,
I'll second it.
Council, please cast your votes. I have a motion by Councilmember Kendrick, second by Councilmember Peterson. That motion passes 5-0.
we will now move to discussion action items. Our first discussion item is 15A. Staff report, please.
Thank you, Mayor. I'll present this one. We're looking to fill the vacancy on the Mobile Home Rent Review Commission. This is following the resignation of Commissioner Dole, Aaron Dole. The city started a solicitation process after his resignation, which included several social media blasts, cold calling former applicants that we had on file, and then finally newspaper adverts. City Clerk's office received 3 qualified candidates that are in your staff report for you to review, that are qualified for the at-large vacancy that Aaron Dole left. There were several other applicants that we had, however, they did not qualify for the at-large commissioner position, which requires them to neither be a tenant of a mobile home park or an owner of a mobile home park. We were able to confirm Will Ochoa, if he's in the audience. The other 2 applicants, after several phone calls and emails, did not confirm their attendance tonight. So right now I have before you just Will Ochoa to consider for the vacancy. I do have some sample questions in the staff report if you would like to ask Mr. Ochoa any. And with that, that would conclude my presentation.
Bill, can you go up to the podium, please? Or Will, I'm sorry. Council members? I do have, if no one's going to say anything, I have something. Will, I looked at your resume and I see that you're a civil engineer.
That's correct.
You have 25 years with Caltrans.
That's correct.
We have a planning department that we're going to be upgrading, and I think you'd be perfect for planning. And I want to know if this rental committee is going to offset anything for you to apply for the planning commission.
No, not at all. I'd be pleased. I
You,
mean,
you can do both of them?
I think so.
Okay, do you think you'll be applying for the planning commission at all?
Yes, I didn't know there was an opening, but surely I would.
I didn't see anything on your resume requesting anything for planning. I've seen infrastructure and the rental committee.
Those were the first 2 that I saw that appealed to me.
So if you could resubmit something to our city clerk on the planning also, I'd appreciate it.
Will do.
Or we would appreciate it. Anyone else?
Well, I finally got to the questions in the staff report. So, Mr. Ochoa, can you state your education and experience, your qualifications related to serving on this commission, and your years of residency within the city of Hemet's jurisdiction?
Certainly. My education and received my degree in civil engineering from San Diego State University in 1998. As far as experience goes, I've been working with as a civil engineer with Caltrans ever since. Initially with District 11 down in San Diego until I transferred to
Hold the
District.
mic closer. I can't hear you that.
I'm sorry. I received my degree in civil engineering from San Diego State University in 1998. I worked with Caltrans immediately upon graduation, initially in San Diego, District 11, up until November 1999 when I transferred to District 8 in San Bernardino. I believe the second question was what qualifies me or what experience I have. The last 7 years at Caltrans, I've retired. I just retired last month. My last 7 years at Caltrans was a project manager, and I led project delivery teams in the delivery of numerous multi-million-dollar projects. So that plus the fact that I don't own or live or have any vested interests whatsoever in a mobile home park, I think qualifies me for the position. Number of years here, I moved into the Valley in September 1987. Aside from living in San Jacinto for 8 years, I've lived the remaining 26 in Hemet, and I don't see myself moving anywhere else.
Any other questions?
How do we get you to come back out of retirement and work for our district? Where's for Caltrans?
I'm sure we can discuss that.
Anyone else? You're hired. None of us. Okay, so where do we go here from here? Well, we thank you. I guess you can have a seat now. No other questions. Thank you.
Since he's the only one that showed up, I'll make.
He's the only one.
Yeah, well, I'll make a motion to appoint him to the Mobile Home Rent Review Commission at large position and let whatever goes forward, goes forward.
Only when you, if you apply for planning too.
I'll second.
Vote.
Council, please cast your votes. I have a motion by Councilmember Krupa, second by Councilmember Kendrick. That motion passes 5-0.
Awesome. Congratulations. Welcome aboard. Okay, now we're going to move on to city council and staff reports. We will now move to council member. Hold on, Mayor, call you. Oh, council member Linda Krupa.
Okay, the library is having the Chalktoberfest this weekend, but in addition to that, the Friends of the Library are having their, it's not $1 a bag anymore. It's a couple bucks for big bags. But anyway, they're having their book sale from 10 to 1, from 10 to 1. And after that will be Chalktoberfest. And then, of course, PD is having their trunk or treat in the later afternoon. And then Boo at the Bowl is after that. And Jackie will talk more about that. Riverside County Transportation Commission at the last meeting, the commission unanimously approved the updated 2024 traffic relief plan. It will go out for out to the public, probably the beginning of 2024 for public comment and then come back for ratification. Riverside Transit Agency, our board meeting is this Thursday, but in the meantime, I can report that ridership is up. Go Micro in the Valley seems to be doing extremely well. And it is Ride Free Friday. And that's what I was supposed to remember at the last meeting, Malcolm. Other than that, that's about it.
Okay, that's it for comments. No, I'm just Council member Jackie Peterson, please.
Okay, so I am the liaison to the Ramona Bowl, and we are once again going to have a spectacular Boo at the Bowl. And this is on Friday, Saturday, Sunday this weekend. And there are some flyers out in the entryway, and I have some here, and I've been handing them out all over town. And it's going to be a great event for the family. The tickets are $6 pre-sale or $8 at the door. Parking will be $5, but there's going to be all kinds of activities. There's going to be, of course, candy and carnival games, magic show, movie shorts, spin art, mini golf, you name it. We're going to do it. Okay. But the big news this year is the city of Hemet is putting on a free concert tomorrow evening. No, Thursday evening, the night before Boo at the Bowl starts. And it's with two really, really good bands. The gates open at 6 o'clock. There's no charge for the concert. There's no charge for parking. Everything is free, but we will have the concession stand open and we will be selling beer and wine. And the bands are Soto Band, and it's a Latin dance music and kind of a funk band. And the other one is an excellent Motown band called Stone Soul. So we're really excited about this, and we want the whole city, the whole area, the whole county to come out on Thursday evening for our free concert. And I will be going to WRCOG on Monday, so I will give you a report next time.
And you will have two greeters there that'll be council members that'll greet everyone that comes on Thursday. Council Member Kendrick, please.
Kendra. So the second meeting for Planning Commission was canceled, so nothing to report on that. I did want to let you know that I did attend the State of the City for San Jacinto on October 12th. Yeah, so that was good. And then on October 13th, I attended the Mount San Jacinto Community College 2023 Hall of Fame Dinner and Recognition Ceremony. And it was amazing to see all the talent that has come out of this valley. I mean, NBA players and people that have made it really far. So that was quite a surprise for me. And I was just happy to hear that. I did attend the Fire Open House on the 14th. That was my first time. I look at my calendar before, but that was my first one, and it was fantastic. I wish I would have gone to them before. I will definitely be back and bring in some kids. So I really did enjoy that. And then I went to the Higher District 5 event yesterday by Council Supervisor Gutierrez. And they had a lot of great booths out there. I saw Councilmember Peterson visiting every booth, promoting the Boo at the Bowl. So that's all I have to report tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Lilienthal, please, Mayor Pro Tem.
So as you guys know, I sit on as a commissioner for Community Action Partnership, and I had a couple questions. If maybe you guys can help me. I think we had I don't know the full story, but I think we had a resident whose house was hit by a car as the result of a police chase. And they are on a fixed income and can't afford to fix some of the damages that I guess may not be covered by insurance. Habitat for Humanity was called, and for whatever reason, I guess they're not allowed to come in Hemet and San Jacinto. Do you guys know anything about that? I've seen them.
They have a different name now, but they're still active, and I'll get you the information.
Okay, because they were reaching out to me to see if there's anything we could do, because the weatherization program is going to cover a lot of stuff for him, but then there's some other things that can't be covered due to like stipulations on how they can spend the money. And so they reached out to Habitat for Humanity, but I don't know, they're saying that they're applying for an amendment through the state for them to come to be able to work in Hemet and San Jacinto. But I thought I seen houses coming up by Habitat for Humanity.
Yeah.
I've seen houses being built by them.
The city actually several years ago donated an entire block over here, and there's 6 houses, 6 Habitat houses that are on it. And the first one actually was built on Acacia and Inez many, many, many years ago, and I worked on that one. We also have some property right now that is available for Habitat to build a couple houses on off State Street. So they're around, they're still here, but there was some legal issues and they were changing their name to something else. Jackie can get the information, but yeah.
I worked on one of the houses too. Yeah.
All right, that's all
My turn? All right. You know, usually I don't have much, but today I have a lot. Did a lot of things this month, and I attended the State of the City for San Jacinto at the Saboba Golf Club. Golf club. We heard all the good things going on in the San Jacinto by Mayor Alonzo Ledesma. It was very well organized and had a great time. I was able to attend the Hemet Fire Department's open house at Station 1. They had a fantastic turnout, and their fire and car cutting demonstration was awesome. Thank you, Hemet Fire, for such a great event for our citizens. We attended the District 5 Encampment Grant Question and Answer Forum with 5th District Supervisor Gutierrez and learned how the $12.5 million grant would be allocated, or with the initial allocations for the city of Hemet and city of San Jacinto was we each got $682,752.50, while the county received the remainder of $12,065,912.49 for future homes that will be built within the valley, probably in the unincorporated part. So that was a good luncheon. Also attended a luncheon where Superintendent Christy Barrett spoke. She spoke about many things that the HUSD's growth and success. But what really caught my interest was the CTE programs that the different schools have. Hemet Unified School District provides career technical education. CTE across 10 industry sectors, providing 19 pathways for students to receive hands-on skills and training that prepares them for future college and careers in growing fields. Some of their new programs are emergency responder at Alessandro High School, where I believe we gave them a fire truck, or donated a fire truck to them for their program. Water technology in partnership with EMWD is happening at West Valley High School. Commercial design at the Academy of Innovation off of San Jacinto Street in Hemet. Automotive technology is held at Hemet High School. The Students Services Division, HUSD, has expanded its systems to support students and family needs. Student Services Department consists of child welfare and attendance, foster and homeless youth, health services, wellness and community outreach centers, expanded learning opportunities, special education, student support services, and translation services. They have modernized many of the schools to include Whittier Elementary, Little Lake Elementary, Idlewild School, Ramona Elementary, Winchester Elementary, and much, much more. The next two items are very important to me. They were events I was very pleased to have attended. I was able to attend the International Association of Firefighters West Coast Center of Excellence, their new site. The IAFF will be building their new Advanced Recovery Center, the Center of Excellence Behavioral Health Treatment and Recovery Center for firefighters only. We had the pleasure of meeting the key people who will be heading this project and the owners of the property at Paradise Valley Ranch on Cactus Valley Road in Hemet. While they have a facility in Marlboro, Maryland, next to Washington, D.C., that has helped over 3,000 firefighters, they needed one built on the West Coast to facilitate more of their firefighters in need. This facility will be built on more than 240 acres of land and will be a safe haven for those firefighters in need. I also had the pleasure of attending the TIP Trauma Intervention Program, where 4 of our police officers were awarded for going beyond the call of duty. Corporal Brian Wood of the POA, Sergeant Matthew Hyatt of the POA, Detective Daniel Cortez of the POA, and Officer Dylan Wirtz of the Police Officers Association. I would like to applaud them for the great work as a police officer of Hemet, and thank you all for making the citizens of Hemet proud. Thank you. We'll now move on to the,
You were also recognized at Melvet.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. I didn't forget about it, but I don't boast about myself. But I was recognized at an event at Melvet. They work with veterans that are in the military now and for veterans, and they awarded me the Supervisor Chuck Washington was there. Rosa Silly, Cho Bogue, the California senator, was there. Kelly Sayardo, senator, was there, and a couple more, but I can't remember who. But I was so thankful. It was a good event, and I really thank them for the awards. Anything else I missed? We will now move on to the city manager's report.
Thank you, Mayor. There is one additional event that I'm aware of that you attended.
Uh-huh.
Last week, we held a community traffic talk at the library to receive some feedback on some traffic calming recommendations at the Stony Mountain Ranch neighborhood. So that was very helpful. I think the community and residents provided some very helpful feedback. So more on that as that issue matures. And then I know, Mayor, that on Friday, November 3rd, from 6 to 8 p.m. at the library, we're going to have our own State of the City event. And I understand you are the master of ceremonies for that event. And on Saturday, November 11th at 9 a.m., there will be a Veterans Day celebration at Gibble Park and some activities to follow. Thank you.
Thank you. Any comments? Anything, attorney? No?
None for me.
No, no. Okay, there being no further business, this meeting is adjourned to the next city council meeting on November 14th. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Got me by
Ah.
2 minutes.
Oh, correctly.